Using the detritus from these models kind of speaks back to the way that I'm bringing my own family history into it. To me, it turns into an extension of myself, if I can even, go that far. I basically base all of my artistic practice off of the 15 years or so that I've been building plastic models, like scale models, tanks, trains, and planes, all of that stuff. This basically stems from my upbringing, from my parents, and as a way for me to cope from, for lack of a better word, parental guidance. And so the installation is set up similar to the way that my home workshop would be set up.
It's always been family. I've done portraits of my mom and my brother, my uncle and my grandfather, and they're sort of the ones who have had the biggest influence on me in terms of exposing me to the sport and having me go to games and having me watch games. It's all really flat colors and really flat images. And I think that that's, for me, sort of stemming from television and how television can relate to painting. And then it's also kind of coming from this idea of childhood, so there's a lot of sort of a paint by numbers quality to it. So the television and a childhood paint by numbers are sort of the two biggest parts of that for me. I think this is the perfect place for this kind of work to be because I grew up here and this school is across a lake from where the Titans practice, and I grew up watching Titans football, and so I think part of it is stemming from this city's attitudes towards it and seeing it become, it wasn't a football city and then it was. Over the last few years it's become more popular for it to be a football city.
I think my overall concept is revolving around identity and a lot of issues or confusion that arises from the identity of being biracial, or specifically for me, Mexican American. Well, growing up I had a lot of confusion around being Mexican American, and so I think naturally that started to enter itself into my work. I think the most challenging part of the show was working on the comic book because there are so many pieces that can go into that, and it really could, you can work on a comic book for years, so I had to figure out a way to make it cohesive and finish it within the time span that I had. Yeah, I guess the most rewarding part for me was when I really felt like the work that I was making was allowing me to come into my own and embrace who I am and embrace my identity.